Good evening. Sheku Bayoh died in police custody in Kirkcaldy almost 6 years ago. Tonight, a man who witnessed the confrontation between the 31-year-old and the police speaks publicly for the first time. His account suggests some of the first officers on the scene may have given false statements to investigators. The Scottish Police Federation says it stands by its officers and that it's seen evidence supporting them. The development comes as a public inquiry into Mr Bayoh's death begins. Here with this exclusive report is our investigations correspondent, Mark Daly.
These were among Sheku Bayoh's last moments of consciousness. The Fife father of two was under the influence of drugs and was restrained on the ground by up to 6 officers. He died soon after. His post-mortem recorded 23 separate injuries, including a broken rib and deep cuts to his head. Fearing he had a knife, 4 officers had used force almost immediately, including batons and CS spray. Through their representatives, the officers said they'd been in fear for their lives.
The Police Federation gave out a statement which said a petite female police officer was chased and subjected to a violent and unprovoked attack by a very large male. She was punched, kicked and stamped on. The officer believed she was about to be murdered.
We've uncovered witness testimony contradicting this account.
He was just walking. Is it like he was unaware that there was other people there? Or purposely ignoring them? Just walking.
Kevin says Bayoh then reacted to being sprayed and punched Nicole short, who goes down here. Was there any other contact with Bayoh and that officer?
No. He was running off. After the punch, that was it. There was no more attack on her at all.
Statements to official investigators, PC's Craig Walker and Ashley Tomlinson, claimed Bayoh violently stamped on PC short whilst she lay on the ground, with one saying he thought he'd killed her.
That never happened.
You're sure?
Yeah.
What you're saying is that those accounts are false?
Yes.
The CCTV footage is poor quality, but supports Kevin's account. We can see PC Short is knocked down here, then the action appears to move away and Bayoh was brought down within 5 seconds. Nicole Short later said she was unsure if she was conscious and only learned of the stamping attack from colleagues afterwards. She appears to get to her feet a few seconds after she was hit. Kevin provided his account to investigators 2 days after Bayoh's death and 30 days before the officers gave their statements. Given what the officers said about this vicious stamping attack, are you surprised that nobody came back to check with you whether that had happened?
Yeah, not one person. Nobody.
Why are you doing this interview?
It's not fair on Sheku and his family that they've made the incident worse than it actually was to justify what had happened, and that's not right.
We showed our evidence to our former police complaints commissioner, who said had he been investigating the case, he would not have signed it off without resolving the discrepancy in accounts.
After the punch, that was it.
Without accusing them of lying, I simply say that there's a big conflict in their evidence. 2 officers who were there say that it did happen. The person to whom it happened didn't mention it, and an eyewitness says it didn't happen.
PERC, the body which investigates deaths in custody in Scotland, told us its investigation was detailed and extensive, and said as the public inquiry had started it would be inappropriate to comment on any specific aspect. The Scottish Police Federation told us its members cooperated fully and truthfully with investigators, and it had seen compelling material that Mr Bayoh did violently stamp on PC Short's back, though the proper forum for this material was the public inquiry. That inquiry will also examine whether Sheku Bayoh's race was a factor in his death or how it was handled.